There are two more shaping commands that I'd like to show you here. Front minus back and back minus front. So once again, of course, I'm going to use very simple shapes to show you how these two guys work. And as always, I'll take my two shapes and simply overlap them one on top of another, something like this, right? Go ahead and select your shapes, as always. Head up to the Arrange menu, down to Shaping, and then there's our two final commands there, front minus back and back minus front. So I'll choose front minus back to begin with, and this is what I'm left with here. So in other words, this square here, the orange square, was on top, and I had the circle below. So the circle, or the object below, is used to knock away from the shape on top. Do you want to see that one more time? I'll just undo this here. Go back to where I was. So there's my green circle in the background, orange square on top, Arrange, Shaping, and then front minus back. There we are. So in other words, take the back shape and subtract it away from the frontmost shape. Okay, I'm going to undo that one more time, because the next thing that I'll do is I'll show you the second command here. So make sure you still have your shapes selected, Arrange, and then down to Shaping, and then try back minus front. And we wind up with this. Now, that's the opposite effect. The topmost shape, it's all about stacking order here. The topmost shape is used to knock away from the background shape, if that makes sense. So hopefully that's useful for you. I'm going to show you a couple of other examples here. I'm just going to scroll down here. Got a few more shapes kicking around. And let's see here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take my green rectangle and I'll sort of position them over top of the circle, because maybe what I want to do is I want to create sort of like a half circle effect, right? There, maybe something like that. Okay, go ahead and select your objects, your shapes, head up to Arrange, down to Shaping, and then down to, I'm going to choose back minus front. There, something like that. So now I have this half circle effect, right? And you know, I just thought of another application of this here. I'm just going to undo a couple of times just to get myself all the way back to where we started. I'm going to get rid of this object here just by deleting them. And I'm going to take my circle here. I'll just crank his size up a little bit. What if I wanted to create sort of a crescent shape, like almost like a quarter moon or something like that, right? Well, I'm going to take my shape here. I'll copy them, Control C, and then Control V. I'll paste them, and then I'll just shrink down that copy, maybe down somewhere like that, or maybe I'll position them up here. It all really depends on what you're after. Maybe something like this, right? Okay, wonderful. I'll select all of my objects, and then I'll go Arrange, and then down to Shaping, and then I'll choose back minus front. And there we are. There's a little crescent shape there, a little crescent moon shape. So very cool stuff. Again, you can't really draw this sort of stuff by hand here in Corel. That's why these commands are so handy, right? All right, I've got one more quick example here for you. Here I have a star and a rectangle, and the star is on top of the rectangle. What I'm going to do here is I'll crank out the size of my rectangle, maybe something like this. And let's see, what I want to do is I want to create this rectangle that has a whole bunch of stars all knocked away from it, or in other words, star-shaped holes all the way across my rectangle. So here's what I'll do. I will select my star, I'll copy them, Control C, and then I'll paste them, Control V, and then I'll drag over that copy. And I'll repeat that process a few times, copying and pasting across my rectangle, something like this. See if I can squeeze one more in here. There we are. Okay, looks good. I'll select the whole shebang, click and drag around all of the shapes here. Let's make sure they're all nice and lined up. So I'm going to go Arrange and then down to Align and Distribute, and I'll choose Align Centers Horizontally. Okay, looks great. And then Arrange, Shaping, and then back minus front. Perfect. So now I have star-shaped holes. Imagine like the stars are almost like cookie cutters that just cut holes in my dough, my orange rectangle there. So there you go. There's your front minus back and your back minus front.
To change your